A strong hold over current affairs is your way to succeed in the UPSC Civil Services examination. Brace yourself and get detailed coverage of relevant news both nationally and internationally. With the monthly current affairs revision program starting from 26th October at 5 p.m. Enroll today and elevate your current affairs knowledge with comprehensive coverage of current affairs compiled through relevant sources such as the Hindu Indian Express, Economic Times, PIB Yojana, and others. Expert support and personalized mentoring. Comprehensive assessment through MCQs and mains-oriented questions.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. All PILs are focused on policy matters now. Genuine PILs are being missed, says CJI. MHA issues advisory to states and union territories to implement Section 479 BNSS for relief of under-trial prisoners. Emissions from rocket and satellite launches pose growing environmental threat. 8 years of regional connectivity scheme UDAN or Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. At Food and Agriculture Organization's World Food Forum, Global Family Farming Forum was launched. Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals jointly with FICCI organized 13th edition of India Chem 2024 in Mumbai. The Chief Justice of India has raised a serious concern over the growing misuse of public interest litigations or PIL. In a recent hearing, the Supreme Court dismissed a PIL seeking the establishment of an independent body to regulate content on OTT platforms. The CJI highlighted that many PILs today are focused on policy matters, causing genuine PILs to be overlooked. Let's first take a closer look at what a PIL is. Public interest litigation or PIL refers to litigation filed by a party without any locus standi, meaning the person filing the case is not directly aggrieved but seeks to protect public interest. The concept of PIL in India was first acknowledged in the Mumbai Kamgar Sabha versus Abdul Bhai Faizullah Bhai case in 1976, where the Supreme Court relaxed the principle of locus standi. Later, in the Husainara Khatun versus State of Bihar case concerning inhuman conditions in prison, India saw its first official PIL. The significance of PILs cannot be understated. They're a powerful tool to bring justice to the marginalized, including the ignorant, indigent, or illiterate. However, with this rise in PILs, there has also been an increasing misuse. As PILs have not been clearly defined by any statute, there have been many instances of abuse of this practice. To counter this, the Supreme Court in the state of Uttaranchal versus Balwant Singh Chaufal and others case in 2010 issued a set of 8 directives to high courts to preserve the purity and sanctity of the PIL. Some of the key directives include encouraging genuine and bona fide PIL, formulate rules for encouraging the genuine PIL and discouraging the PIL filed with oblique motives, verifying the credentials of the petitioner, ensuring the correctness of the contents, and prioritizing cases that involve substantial public interest. High courts have also been encouraged to give priority to petition which involves larger public interest. Moreover, ensure there is no personal gain, private or oblique motive, and adopt novel methods including imposing exemplary costs to curb frivolous petitions. The concern raised by the CJI serves as a reminder to the original intent of PILs, to uphold the larger public interest and provide justice to those who need it the most, not to be a tool for policy interventions or personal agendas.
Moving on to a significant development in the legal landscape, the Ministry of Home Affairs has issued an advisory to all states and union territories, urging them to implement Section 479 of the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita (BNSS) for the relief of under-trial prisoners. This comes after the recent Supreme Court order which mandates that Section 479 applies to all under trials, regardless of whether their case was registered before or after BNSS came into effect on July 1, 2024. Let's take a closer look at the bail provisions under BNSS for detainees. Under this law, under trials in regular cases are entitled to release if their detention period reaches half of the maximum specified imprisonment for their offence. For the first-time offenders, they can be released after serving 1/3 of the maximum imprisonment period. However, this provision does not apply to offences carrying the death penalty or life imprisonment. Shifting focus to the larger issue of the under-trial prisoners in India, as per the National Crime Records Bureau (NCRB), India's prisons have an occupancy rate of 131.4%, with nearly 75% of the inmates being under trials as of 2022. An under-trial prisoner is someone who is in prison while their charges are being tried in court. The high number of under-trial prisoners is attributed to factors like indiscriminate arrests, ignorance of legal rights, delays in trial, reluctance to grant bail, and the inability to prisoners to provide surety. To address these challenges, several measures have been introduced. For instance, the Support to Poor Prisoners scheme helps financially constrained prisoners who cannot afford fines or bail bonds. The e-prisons portal is another initiative that provides quick access to inmate data, aiding in the identification of those eligible for bail. Additionally, the Model Prison Manual of 2016 outlines detailed guidelines for the welfare of under-trial inmates, while legal services clinics established in jails offer free legal assistance through the state legal services authorities. This advisory and the efforts it highlights mark an important step towards improving the conditions of under-trial prisoners in India.
In our next news, we'll be taking a closer look at a growing concern: emissions from rocket and satellite launches. Over the past 15 years, the number of rocket launches per year has nearly tripled, while the number of satellites orbiting the planet has increased tenfold. But with these advancements comes a rising environmental threat. The re-entry of space debris has doubled in the past decade, and atmospheric burning of this debris is creating toxic emissions. Now, let's talk about the atmospheric impact of rocket launches. Rockets release alumina or aluminium oxide and black carbon or soot, both of which absorb and trap long-wave radiation from Earth, thus resulting in global warming. In fact, a warmer stratosphere speeds up ozone depletion by accelerating chemical reactions. Speaking of ozone depletion, rocket plumes contain alumina, chlorine, and nitrogen oxides, all of which contribute to the breakdown of stratospheric ozone. Interestingly, the Montreal Protocol, which protects the ozone layer, does not address rocket emissions. Well, the emissions problem does not stop there. Each rocket launch produces between 50 to 75 tons of carbon dioxide per passenger, which is much higher than airplane flights, which emit just 1 to 3 tons of carbon dioxide. On top of that, if we talk about upper atmospheric level pollution, then around 2/3 of propellant exhaust is released into the stratosphere 12 to 50 kilometers and mesosphere 50 to 85 kilometers, where it can linger for 2 to 3 years. Even green rockets, which are propelled by liquid hydrogen, produce water vapor at high altitudes, and this water vapor is a greenhouse gas at high altitudes. Metallic ash from rocket launches also has the potential to disrupt Earth's magnetic field, allowing more harmful cosmic radiation to penetrate the atmosphere. So what can be done to control this pollution? One innovative solution is the horizontal launch of small satellites, such as launching from under the wing of a Boeing 747. This method uses only about 1/20th of the fuel of typical ground-launched heavy-lift rockets. Additionally, there are new efforts to control satellite re-entry by burning them at lower altitudes, allowing metal oxides to settle back to Earth more quickly. Other measures include exploring alternative fuels such as biopropane and developing reusable launch systems to minimize waste.
The Regional Connectivity Scheme, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik or UDAN, has completed 8 years of connecting India's remotest regions. As part of this milestone celebration, Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently inaugurated 3 new airports in Saharanpur, Rewa, and Ambikapur. These airports will enhance connectivity in Uttar Pradesh, further expanding the reach of UDAN scheme. So what is UDAN all about? Launched in 2016 under the Ministry of Civil Aviation, UDAN is a crucial component of India's National Civil Aviation Policy 2016. The first UDAN flight took off in 2017, connecting Shimla to Delhi. And since then, the scheme has been central sector initiative aimed at improving air infrastructure and connectivity, especially in remote and underserved regions, making air travel affordable for masses. A major feature of this scheme is its benefits to passengers. It offers subsidized seats for passengers, capping the initial travel fee at Rs 2,500 per passenger for shorter routes. To compensate airlines for low fares, the government compensates in the form of Viability Gap Funding (VGF) to airlines for losses due to low fares. Moving on, funding for this scheme is facilitated by a regional connectivity fund. It facilitates the self-financing mechanism of the scheme by funding the VGF through a levy on certain domestic flights. The scheme follows a market-driven model where airlines assess demand on specific routes and submit proposals during bidding rounds. Currently, in its fifth phase, UDAN has seen some adjustments, including reducing the distance gap to 600 kilometers, adjusting airfare caps, and enhancing VGF. The scheme's implementing agency is the Airports Authority of India. Now, let's look at its key achievements. UDAN has fueled demand for new aircraft of all sizes. In its third phase, the scheme introduced tourism routes, successfully connecting destinations like Khajuraho in Madhya Pradesh, Deoghar in Jharkhand, Amritsar in Punjab, and Agatti Island in Lakshadweep. It has also significantly boosted air connectivity from Mundra in Gujarat to Teju in Arunachal Pradesh and Kullu in Himachal Pradesh to Salem in Tamil Nadu. RCS UDAN has connected 34 states and union territories across the country. Moreover, a total of 86 aerodromes have been operationalized under UDAN.
Moving ahead, the role of family farmers in sustaining global food systems and combating climate change has taken center stage at the Food and Agriculture Organization's World Food Forum, where the Global Family Farming Forum was officially launched. Family farmers have always been crucial to building sustainable agri-food systems and tackling the impacts of the climate crisis. The launch of the GFFF also marks the halfway point of the United Nations Decade of Family Farming 2019 to 2028. This initiative, declared by the United Nations General Assembly, provides a framework for nations to develop policies and make investments to support family farmers. But what exactly is family farming? At its core, family farming is a way of organizing agricultural, forestry, fisheries, pastoral, and aquaculture production that is managed and operated by a family and predominantly reliant on family labor of both women and men. Now, why is family farming so significant? With over 550 million farms worldwide, family farming produces 70 to 80% of the world's food, making it the backbone of global food security. It also contributes to nutritional diversity, particularly in low and middle-income countries, where family farmers grow diverse and nutritious crops supporting biodiversity. Additionally, family farmers use traditional methods and minimal external inputs to maintain soil health and build climate resilience naturally. However, family farmers also face several challenges, including financial barriers, lack of access to assistance, genetics and knowledge, fragmentation of land, market difficulties, climate threats, and even a lack of support for generational succession. In related news, on the sidelines of the World Food Forum, the Food and Agriculture Organization, in collaboration with the Global Framework on Water Scarcity in Agriculture, adopted the Rome Declaration on Water Scarcity in Agriculture. The WASAG initiative was launched during the United Nations Climate Conference in Marrakesh in 2016, which aims to help countries address water scarcity challenges. The key objectives here are to mobilize political support, implement appropriate policies, secure access to financing, and promote responsible water governance.
In an important development for India's industrial sector, the Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals, in collaboration with FICCI, organized the 13th edition of India Chem 2024 in Mumbai. This event is considered one of the largest of its kind in the Asia-Pacific region and features both an international conference and exhibition. Now, let's take a closer look at the significance of India's chemical and petrochemical industry. This sector plays a crucial role in India's growing manufacturing industry. The industry itself is segmented into three main categories. First, we have bulk chemicals, which are produced in large quantities but generally hold lower value. These include alkali, organic and inorganic chemicals, all of which are key to supporting downstream industries. Next, there are petrochemicals, often referred to as petroleum distillates. These are derived from petroleum and natural gas by refining and include products like polymers, synthetic fibers, and performance plastics. It's worth noting that the production-consumption gap in this segment has remained negative over the years. Then we have specialty chemicals. These are high-value, low-volume chemicals such as surfactants, textile chemicals, paints, dyes, and agrochemicals. From an economic standpoint, the chemical and petrochemical industry contributes over 9% to manufacturing gross value added and accounts for 7% of India's total exports. The sector is currently valued at $178 billion and is projected to surpass $300 billion by 2028, with expectations to reach $1 trillion by 2040. Several key initiatives have been taken to promote this industry. One such measure is the allowance of 100% FDI in manufacturing through the automatic route. Over the past decade, this sector has attracted investments worth $12.48 billion. In addition, the government has developed petroleum, chemical and petrochemical investment regions, which offer top-tier infrastructure and a competitive environment, perfect for new firms. Another important initiative is the creation of plastic parks, aimed at boosting investment, production, and exports in the plastics sector. These developments highlight India's ambitious plans for its chemical and petrochemical industry, making it a vital part of the country's economic growth.
As we wrap up today's bulletin, let's have a look at some quick updates. ITU's World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024 held in New Delhi. WTSA is the governing conference for the standardization work of the ITU, organized every 4 years. Switzerland joins European Sky Shield Initiative. ESSI was founded in 2022 after Russia invaded Ukraine. It is a German-led European Iron Dome-style defense system. Second National Lighthouse Festival with first of its kind Lighthouse Tourism Conclave 2024 began in Puri, Odisha. It is an initiative of Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways that aims to explore the vast potential of lighthouse tourism. New research by South African ecologists disproves claims that African baobab trees are dying due to climate change, noting they have survived past extreme climate fluctuations. African baobab, also known as tree of life, is vital to dry African savanna, helping keep soil humid, recycling nutrients, and reducing erosion. Tigress's death and a missing cub has hit reintroduction plan in Ramgarh Vishdhari Reserve. Ramgarh Vishdhari Tiger Reserve is the 4th tiger reserve in Rajasthan state and the 52nd tiger reserve in the country. Forest fire carbon dioxide emissions increased 60% globally since 2001, says a study. The study separated forest and non-forest fires into 12 eco-region biomes to analyze carbon dioxide emissions. Biomes are defined as regions where forest fire patterns are affected by similar environmental, human, and climatic factors, thereby revealing the elements pushing recent increases in forest fires. Memorandum of Understanding signed with IIT Delhi for the development of diamond-based deep ultraviolet photodetectors for the first time in India. Photodetectors is an optoelectronic device that converts light or other electromagnetic radiation into an electrical signal. Discovery of a Trojan asteroid 2019 UO14 for Saturn establishes the presence of celestial bodies alongside all giant planets such as Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus. Trojan asteroids occupy a stable Lagrange point, usually L4 and L5, in a planet's orbit around the Sun. India is on track to eliminate Kala Azar as a public health problem. The country has maintained fewer than one case per 10,000 people for 2 consecutive years, meeting WHO's criteria for elimination certification. Ministry of Labour and Employment is set to launch the eShram one-stop solution. Its aim is to integrate information on beneficiaries of all social security and welfare schemes for unorganized workers on a single platform. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Knowledge. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solution to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description below.